New Orleans AP, Joel Berry 2 and Theo Pinson each scored 19 points, and number 5 North Carolina bounced back from a loss to Wofford with a convincing 86-72 victory over Ohio State on Saturday. Pinson scored 6 points on flawless free throw shooting inside the final 1:06 of the game as the Tar Heels 11-2 kept the Buckeyes 10-4 at bay in the CBS Sports Classic. Cameron Johnson, a graduate transfer from Pittsburgh whose recent debut was delayed by injuries, scored 13 points in just his second game for North Carolina, which had 13 three-pointers. Keita Bates-Diop had 26 points, 1 point shy of his career high, for Ohio State. He shot 10 of 17 for the game and scored 19 points in the second half, including 8 straight for Ohio State during a late 13-4 run that briefly pulled the Buckeyes within 78-69 with 1:10 to play. C.J. Jackson scored the first 11 points for Ohio State before finishing with 19 for the game, while Caleb Wesson added 12 points. North Carolina's Dalik Felton scored 12 points, joining Johnson in giving the Tar Heels 2 reserves with 12 or more points. Felton scored all of his points on three-point range, from where he went 4 of 5 and from where UNC went 13 of 25. Luke May grabbed 10 rebounds for North Carolina in an all-around performance that included 9 points, 4 assists, 2 steals and a block. The big picture: Ohio State, the Buckeyes looked competitive in stints and never led in the game, but still had trouble keeping their deficit under double digits against a UNC squad that had more balanced scoring. Ohio State also struggled with UNC's physicality and size under the basket. The Tar Heels out-rebounded Ohio State 39-25. North Carolina, a game against Ohio State might have been just what the Tar Heels needed to bounce back from a surprising loss at home to Wofford earlier this week. UNC is 12-2 all-time against the Buckeyes, including a 5-0 mark under coach Roy Williams. Up next, Ohio State has a week off before hosting in-state non-conference foe Miami of Ohio on December 30th. North Carolina also is off until December 30th, when the Tar Heels open ACC play at home against Wake Forest. Minneapolis AP, senior guard Nate Mason scored 17 points but missed most of the second half with potentially severe ankle injury as Minnesota defeated Florida Atlantic 95-60 on Saturday. Mason, the Gophers' second leading scorer and a first-team All-Big Ten pick last year, went to the floor early in the second half after getting tangled up in traffic. After a visit from the trainer, he was helped off the court but didn't put any weight on his left ankle. Jordan Murphy scored 14 points and grabbed 11 rebounds for Minnesota 11-3, extending the nation's longest double-double streak to 14 games. Amir Coffey and Reggie Lynch each had 11 points for the Gophers. Gerdarius Troutman led the Owls 6-6 with 18 points, while Ronald Delph scored 17 and Jalen Ingram had 12 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Mason connected on his first 3 three-pointers before the game was 5 minutes old. The third was part of an 18-0 run that staked the Gophers to a 28-7 lead. During that stretch, Murphy displayed his diverse skills that have helped him emerge on the national scene this year. On the defensive end of the floor, he wrestled a rebound away from the Owls' big men, and on the ensuing trip down the court, Murphy took a pass at the top of the key and drained a three-pointer. The Gophers shot 55% from the floor, hitting 11 of 25 three-pointers. Big picture: Florida Atlantic, the Owls have played 2 teams from major conferences and have been out in both. Coming off a 90-54 loss at Texas Tech on Tuesday, the Owls were hoping for a better showing at Minnesota, but their defense wasn't up to the test. Minnesota, losing Mason for an extended stretch would be devastating to the Gophers' Big Ten hopes. The floor general is off to his best start as a Gopher, averaging 15.4 points per game and nearly 4 assists per turnover. Freshman Isaiah Washington would likely take over the point guard role in Mason's absence. Up next, Florida Atlantic, at Florida International on December 30th. Minnesota hosts Harvard on December 30th. Aaron Holiday finished with 20 points and 8 assists and Chris Wilkes chipped in with 20 points of his own as UCLA landed their first marquee win in their final non-conference game, knocking off number 7 Kentucky, 83-75. It's a massive win for a UCLA team that desperately needed something good to happen to them. The Bruins were 8-3 on the season entering Saturday. They were coming off an overtime loss to Michigan and a beatdown at home against Cincinnati. Their best win on the season, to date, came against a down Wisconsin team, and on Friday night the program announced that the 2 players that had shoplifted alongside LiAngelo Ball would be suspended for the rest of the season. UCLA was in danger of putting themselves in a position to end up back in the knit. They only play the Arizona schools once during Pac-12 play, and those might actually be the only two good teams in the conference. Oregon has potential, as does USC, but neither of those programs have done much of anything this season. The Bruins badly needed this. But the thing is, Kentucky kind of did, too. The Wildcats now have just two non-conference games left, Louisville at home and at West Virginia in January. As it stands, a win over Virginia Tech at home is their only win against a top 70 team on KenPom, and a win over Monmouth is their only win away from Rupp Arena. Hamidou Diallo finished with 18 points, and Kevin Knox added 15, but the Wildcats found themselves in a hole early in the second half and were never able to dig their way out. As a team, UCLA shot 12 for 30 from beyond the arc, and one of the reasons they were able to get so many clean looks from three was that Kentucky could not keep UCLA out of the paint. It's a concern that's worth mentioning for the Wildcats at this point. For a team that was supposed to be a menace on the defensive side of the ball, they've now given up 86 points on 76 possessions and 83 points on roughly 71 possessions in their last two games. Newark, New Jersey. AP, Seton Hall coach Kevin Willard likes where his 23rd ranked Pirates are entering Big East play. "I think we're excited about being 11-2, Willard said Saturday after a 74-62 victory over Manhattan. "I think we've put ourselves in good position heading into the Big East." But Willard has a lot on his plate, namely, the suspension of senior forward Ismael Sanogo before the game, the loss of sophomore guard Miles Powell to an ejection during the game, and the near loss of freshman guard Jordan Walker, who left the program and returned last Tuesday. "I'm not a happy camper," Willard said. "It's been a tough week. You put time and effort into kids and you hope that you're guiding them the right way. When it goes off the rail a little bit, it's like a stab in the heart. I'm disappointed and sad. I'm not going to have a Merry Christmas." Sanogo was suspended for something off the court, not basketball-wise, Willard said. "I'm in no rush to bring him back," Willard said. "You have to act in a certain way at this university. When you don't, then it's a big issue with me." Willard said that he had no real problem with Powell's ejection. He left with 40 seconds remaining in the first half, along with Manhattan's Rich Williams, after an altercation under the Manhattan basket, after scoring 13 points in the first half. "Both teams were playing hard and aggressive," Willard said. "Sometimes we have situations like this." Angel Delgado scored 15 points and grabbed 18 rebounds to lead the way for the Pirates. It was the 9th time this season and the 59th time in his career that Delgado reached double figures in both points and rebounds. "We just came here and took care of business," Delgado said. "The Big East are real games now. We have to play hard and be aggressive and get ready for Creighton, the Pirates' next opponent, December 28th. I think Angel has been as consistent as any big man in the country," Willard said. "He loves the physicality from other teams. He would much rather play against a team that is going to W him because he gets to W him back." Kadeen Carrington added 15 points and Daisy Rodriguez scored 13 points, grabbed 7 rebounds and had 5 assists, as the Pirates had all 5 starters score in double figures. Michael Nzei had 10 points and 5 rebounds for the winners. The victory was the 7th in 8 games for the Pirates, 11-2. The Jaspers 5-7 were led by Zane Waterman, who had 18 points, and Calvin Crawford, who had 10. Manhattan head coach Steve Masiello, who served as an assistant at Louisville with Willard for 3 seasons, gave his team credit for playing tough against the bigger Pirates. "The first half was a bit of a disappointment," Masiello said, "but we battled hard in the second half. We need to clean up some things now that it's down to conference play. But I'm very proud of the way we competed today." The Pirates put the game away with a 13-0 run in the first half, keyed by 5 straight points from Powell on a three-pointer and a steal and thunderous slam, and capped by Powell's layup off a drive, giving the Pirates a 36-20 lead. Rodriguez and Powell paced the Pirates with 13 points each at the half, with the Pirates holding a 49-27 lead. Delgado scored on a dunk and a free throw that pushed the lead to 54-31 with 17:40 left. Patrick Sturzala hit 2 straight three-pointers to bring the Jaspers within 74-56 with 2:52 remaining. The Jaspers then scored 4 straight points with the Seton Hall starters on the bench to slice the lead to 74-60 with 2 minutes remaining. Senior leadership: the Pirates are the only Division I team to have 3 players who have scored 1,000 or more points during their career in Carrington, Delgado and Rodriguez. Friendly faces: Willard and Masiello were assistant coaches on Rick Pitino's staff at Louisville from 2005 through 2007. "I learned so much about scouting and how to prepare for games from Kevin Willard," Masiello said. Willard said that he might face Manhattan. in the future because of his good relationship with Masiello. "We've talked about it for a couple of years," Willard said. "We might have a long-term series and we might go there to the Bronx to face them. I respect him and how they play. It's all about what makes this area good for college basketball." Strange series lead. Although Saturday marked the first time the schools faced each other since 2005, Manhattan leads the all-time series 27-21. But the teams have faced each other only 3 times since 1985. Welcome back. Jordan Walker, who apparently left the team for 2 days over his lack of playing time, then was talked back into returning by Seton Hall officials, returned to action with 13:30 in the first half and received a warm welcome from the Seton Hall faithful in attendance. Walker responded with a wide smile. Walker had 2 points and 2 assists in 16 minutes Saturday. Altercation and ejections. With just 40 seconds left in the first half, Seton Hall's Delgado and Manhattan's Waterman locked arms in a wrestling match under the Manhattan basket, going for a rebound. The altercation got heated and eventually Powell and Williams were ejected from the game. But according to Big East Assistant Commissioner John Pickett, Powell will not be suspended for the Pirates' next game, the Big East opener against Creighton on Thursday. Double trouble. The 59 double-doubles by Delgado is the top figure in the nation. Delgado is the only active Division I player with more than 1,000 career points and 1,000 career rebounds. The big picture. Seton Hall, the Pirates have won 23 straight games against non-conference opponents and 28 straight non-conference wins at the Prudential Center. Manhattan, Waterman became the 38th player in Manhattan history to reach the 1,000-point plateau with a basket Wednesday night in a win over Hofstra. Up next, the Pirates break for the holidays and return Thursday, December 28th to face number 25 Creighton in the Big East regular season opener. The Jaspers are off until next Saturday when they host Fairfield in the MAAC regular season opener. Newark, New Jersey. AP, Angel Delgado scored 15 points and grabbed 18 rebounds. Kadeen Carrington scored 15 and Daisy Rodriguez added 13 points, 7 rebounds and 5 assists, leading number 23 Seton Hall to a 74-62 victory over Manhattan on Saturday at the Prudential Center. The victory was the 7th in 8 games for the Pirates, 11-2. Miles Powell had 13 points for Seton Hall before he was ejected in an altercation right before halftime. Michael Nzei had 10 points to give the Pirates 5 players in double figures. The Jaspers 5-7 were led by Zane Waterman, who had 14 points, and Calvin Crawford, who had 10. The Pirates put the game away with a 13-0 run in the first half, keyed by 5 straight points from Powell on a three-pointer and a steal and thunderous slam, and capped by Powell's layup off a drive, giving the Pirates a 36-20 lead. Rodriguez and Powell paced the Pirates with 13 points each in the half, with the Pirates holding a 49-27 lead. Delgado scored on a dunk and a free throw that pushed the lead to 54-31 with 17:40 left. Patrick Sturzala hit 2 straight three-pointers to bring the Jaspers within 74-56 with 2:52 remaining. The Jaspers then scored 4 straight points with the Seton Hall starters on the bench to slice the lead to 74-60 with 2 minutes remaining. Senior leadership. The Pirates are the only Division I team to have 3 players who have scored 1,000 or more points during their career in Carrington, Delgado and Rodriguez. All 3 scored in double figures Saturday and rank among the top 30 scorers in the history of the school, with Delgado moving past Donald Williams into the number 29 spot Saturday. Carrington ranks 18th and Rodriguez 27th among all-time leading Seton Hall scorers. Strange series lead. Although Saturday marked the first time the schools faced each other since 2005, Manhattan leads the all-time series 27-21. But the teams have faced each other only 3 times since 1985. Welcome back. Jordan. Seton Hall freshman guard Jordan Walker, who apparently left the team for 2 days over his lack of playing time, then was talked back into returning by Seton Hall officials, returned to action with 13:30 in the first half and received a warm welcome from the Seton Hall faithful in attendance. Walker responded with a wide smile. Walker had 2 points and 2 assists Saturday. Sanogo suspended senior forward Ismael Sanogo, who started 5 of the Pirates' previous 12 games, was suspended indefinitely from the team Friday for violation of team and university rules, according to coach Kevin Willard. Ish has a responsibility to himself and his teammates to abide by all the rules of this university and team. Hope he will understand the opportunity he has attending Seton Hall University, and he will make the changes he needs to make to be allowed back on this team. Willard said. Altercation and ejections with just 40 seconds left in the first half. Delgado and Waterman locked horns in a wrestling match under the Manhattan basket going for a rebound. The altercation got heated and eventually Powell and Manhattan's Rich Williams were ejected from the game. But according to Big East Assistant Commissioner John Piquette, Powell will not be suspended for the Pirates' next game, the Big East opener against Creighton on Thursday. Double trouble. It was the 59th time in Delgado's Seton Hall career and the 9th time this season that he collected double figures in points and rebounds. The total of 59 is the top figure in the nation. Delgado is the only active Division I player with more than 1,000 career points and 1,000 career rebounds. The big picture. Seton Hall. The Pirates have won 23 straight games against non-conference opponents and 28 straight non-conference wins at the Prudential Center. Manhattan. Waterman became the 38th player in Manhattan history to reach the 1,000-point plateau with a basket Wednesday night in a win over Hofstra. Up next, the Pirates break for the holidays and return Thursday, December 28th to face number 25 Creighton in the Big East regular season opener. The Jaspers are off until next Saturday when they host Fairfield in the MAAC regular season opener. Morgantown. WVA. AP. Javon Carter picked up his second double-double of the season with 10 points and 12 assists to lead number 10 West Virginia to an 86-69 victory over Fordham on Saturday. The Mountaineers 11-1 started out a little sluggish in the first half, unable to prevent Fordham runs over the first 7 minutes of the game. James Bolden and Sigaba Kanate led a couple of WVU scoring runs before halftime to stretch the lead as high as 16 points with 4 minutes remaining before halftime. Rams guard Ivan Rout responded with 4 free throws and a three-pointer to cut the West Virginia lead to 5 before Carter dunked as time expired to give the Mountaineers a 46-39 halftime lead. West Virginia opened the second half on a 12-5 run, stretching the lead to double digits, and the Rams 5-7 couldn't quite recover. Daxter Miles Jr. led the Mountaineers with 21 points, Lamont West added 15 points and Kanate finished with 12 points and 11 rebounds for his second double-double of the season. Will Tavares led Fordham with 18 points and 7 rebounds, while Joseph Chartouni added 16 points. Big picture. Fordham picked up a moral victory in Morgantown, staying competitive with the nationally ranked Mountaineers for an entire 40 minutes, and will look to regroup by starting their Atlantic 10 schedule at VCU. West Virginia will ride their 11-game winning streak into Big 12 play with road games at Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Up next, Fordham opens Atlantic 10 play at VCU on December 30th. West Virginia starts the Big 12 season at Oklahoma State on Friday.